Jefferson County Court, law number 2 is back in session. Next case is clause number 322058. Case is style of state of Texas versus Keyshawn Jeremiah Ivory. Mr. Ivory, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ivory, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Ivory, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Ivory, you can look at the, I guess at the computer where that camera is. Turn right there. Mr. Ivory, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
I'm doing good.
That's good. Well, I can hear you. Mr. Ivory, you are represented here in this case by your attorney, Attorney Kyle Walker. Attorney Walker, do you waive a record in Mr. Ivory's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ivory, I have before me a motion to revoke your unadjudicated probation. This motion was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This motion alleges that you, Keyshawn Jeremiah Ivory, was tried in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, on June 13th of 2022 for the offense of assault. The court found that the evidence was sufficient beyond a reasonable doubt to support a finding of guilt for the offense of assault, and the court deferred adjudicating your guilt and placed you on unadjudicated probation for a period of 1 year. In the state's motion, there are 7 allegations. State, are you abandoning allegations 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
Mr. Ivory, the state is abandoning allegations 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what that means is the state will not be proceeding on those allegations. However, they will be proceeding on allegations 5 and on allegation 6 and 7. Allegation number 6 alleges that you, Keyshawn Jeremiah Ivory, failed to perform the community service required as ordered by the court in violation of condition 14 of your probation order. Mr. Ivory, is that true or not true?
That's true.
Okay, allegation number 7, Mr. Ivory, alleges that you failed to provide verification of entering and successfully completing the anger management program as ordered by the court in violation of condition 16 of your probation order. Is that true or not true?
That's true.
Okay. Mr. Ivory, are you pleading true to allegations 6 and 7 freely and voluntarily?
That's true.
And are you pleading true because they are true?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Ivory, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. On page 1, there's one box that's checked. And it's the box that's checked is MTRP, which means motion to revoke probation. On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Ivory, I only have one allegation on here. I know, but he only is on 7 on here.
Yeah, on the first page.
Mr. Kyle, on page 2 of this document, it only has allegations number 7 that is written on this document. On the tablet, it says MTRP true to allegation number 7, and it has its initials.
Yes, sir. That was, I believe, changed this morning.
Yes, Your Honor. It was my understanding there was some question about his community service hours, so the state would proceed with number 7.
Only, okay, yeah. Okay, now, Mr. Ivory, let me go back. The state is abandoning allegation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So So, Mr. Ivory, the state is only proceeding on allegation 7, and allegation 7 is the one that you pled true to. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that allegation is that you failed to provide verification of entering and successfully completing the anger management program as ordered by the court in violation of condition 16 of your probation order. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And again, you pleading true to these to that allegation freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And you pleading true to this allegation because it is true?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Ivory, on page 2 of State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, there's one box that's checked that's titled MTRP, which means motion to revoke probation, true to allegation 7, and it has initials KI. Mr. Ivory, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Mr. Ivory, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Mr. Ivory, did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
The next document, Mr. Ivory, is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. At the bottom of this document, there's also a signature above the line that is titled defendant. And Mr. Ivory, did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this same document, Mr. Ivory, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you are giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Ivory, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I have just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Walker, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ivory, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Okay. State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, State would.
Any objections, Mr. Walker?
No, sir.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Walker, you have advised and counseled Mr. Ivory. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Mr. Ivory, your attorney, Mr. Walker, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ivory, I will accept your plea of true to allegation number 7. I will also find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I also find that there is sufficient evidence to revoke your unadjudicated probation, and your unadjudicated probation is hereby revoked. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is for Mr. Ivory to serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail.
Okay, Mr. Ivory. The state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Mr. Ivory, you will be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. The court cost in this case, Mr. Ivory, is $57. Mr. Ivory, will you be able to pay the $57?
When I get out, yes, sir.
So my question now, would you be able to pay the $57 now?
Yeah, but I don't know how I'll be able to do that. I don't have no way of getting to my money.
Okay, so my question is, can you pay the 57 now, or will you be able to pay the $57 today or now, or will you not be able to pay the $57? That's my question.
Yes, I can pay it. No, it just, I don't know how would I be able to pay that? Meaning like, how would I be able to get to my money to pay y'all? That's basically what I'm saying.
Okay, so you're saying that you can't afford to pay it.
I
You
said
have,
I can pay it, but how would I be able to
I
pay
know,
it?
I understand that, I understand that. The question is do you have the ability to pay it?
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're saying you have the ability to pay it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Ivory, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Ivory, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Ivory, your sentence is 30 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law, and you'll be ordered to pay the $57 court costs. Now, Mr. Ivory, this will conclude your case. Mr. Ivory, this will conclude your case. Please follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
All right, you're welcome. And Mr. Walker, I think this is your last case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and you too.
All right, you're welcome. Kelly Allen,
Yes, sir. He's present, Your Honor. Good morning. Good morning, Ray.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
good morning. Okay, the court is in session and calls number 330204. Case is style of State of Texas versus Kelly M. Allen or Kelly Matthew Allen.
Yes,
Mr. Allen, is that your full name?
yes, sir.
Mr. Allen, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Allen, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Allen, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Allen?
I'm good.
That's good. Mr. Allen, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Mark Faggart. Attorney Faggart, again, how are you doing?
I'm good, Your Honor. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Mr. Faggart, do you waive a record in Mr. Allen's case?
We do.
Mr. Allen, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This document was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this document, it alleges that on or about May 24th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest detention. Mr. Allen, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Allen, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Allen, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. On this document, on page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials KA that are on a line next to a box that is checked guilty. Mr. Allen, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, Mr. Allen, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Mr. Allen, did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Allen, on the next page, or on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, there's also a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Allen, at the top of this same document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Allen, did you also sign a document out there on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Allen, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Faggart, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, he did.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Faggart went over?
Yes, sir. I
And
did.
is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Allen, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Allen, well, state. I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
The state would, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr.
No,
Faggart?
Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Faggart, you have advised and counseled Mr. Allen. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Allen, your attorney, Mr. Faggart, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Allen, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we do. Mr. Allen is to serve 25 days in the Jefferson County Jail, of which he has credit, so he'll receive credit for time served, and we will tax and retire the court cost.
Okay, Mr. Allen, the
Yes,
state
sir.
is offering that you serve 25 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 25 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you will be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case, Mr. Allen, is $342. But you will not have to pay the $342 court cost because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Allen, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Allen, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Allen, this will conclude your case. If you do not have anything else holding you in, you should be getting out today. And Mr. Allen, please follow the bailiff and you have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, sir. Y'all have a blessed day.
You're welcome. And Mr. Faggart, this is your only case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, and this will conclude the calling of our jail run docket this morning. Ms. Bailey, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Shearer, thank you very much as well. And both of y'all have a blessed